Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Passing Dimes. Really excited for today's guest because they're going to teach us all about the youth national team, the junior national team, which they were both a part of, and they're also both playing club at Leaside 18U this year. Please welcome to the show who will attend U of T next year, Julia Murmann. Say hello.
Hello, I'm Julia Murmann, and I play for Leaside.
And our second guest is Kat Georgiadis. Georgiadis. Oh, it's a Georgia sound, sorry. And who will attend Santa Clara next year. So welcome to the show, guys. Thanks for doing this.
Thanks so much for having us.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
So let's start with the one on everybody's mind. You had a big summer last year with the youth national team, but some people in the volleyball community might not know much about that program. So first of all, how do you sign up or be identified? Is there a tryout? Are you scouted? Just dive into it. How do you get on that team?
Okay, well, at Nationals, which is a big tournament at the end of the year, some of the Canada team coaches come and attend that, and they look for a bunch of different players, and then after that, if they're interested, they send an email inviting you to a tryout, and about 30 to 40 athletes are invited to the tryout. They can either be 17U or 18U or 16U. They just have to be under 18. And then, we both got invited to the tryout, and the tryout was held in Orangeville.
Yeah, Mono is another name for it.
Okay, nice.
And then, we both tried out with athletes from all over Canada. And then it was a 2-day tryout. And then we heard a couple days. I think it was like the Monday. A couple days. We heard a couple days after. And it said we were both invited to the roster. And we'd be going to Egypt in the summer.
Yeah.
So you don't sign up for this, like literally anyone who played at Nationals could have been identified for this team? Or did you have to kind of...
I didn't sign up.
Did coaches just watch every quarter, or did they kind of pinpoint who they were going to look for? You said you didn't sign up, so I guess coaches were just watching every single match they could, right?
Did you sign up for Timo?
Maybe I signed up for...
Because I think what happens is at provincials, the provincial, LP and the heads of there will walk around and then pick top 8. Or that's what they did 2 years ago for the NORCECAs. The top 8 players from each position, and then each province would tell the national team coaches.
I see. Okay.
And then at nationals they would scout through them. And after provincials you get an email saying, "Oh, we're looking at you. You're one of the top 8 of your position from this province. There's also another 8 from each other provinces, but we'll let you know if you are selected," because there was no tryout for NORCECAs 2 years ago. It was just you're picked after nationals. And then for Worlds, they had an actual tryout.
Okay, because it had to be overwhelming for coaches to walk into nationals and try to watch 30 clubs.
Yes.
So they must have had a plan somehow.
I was really wrong.
It's okay. I think that's what happened, though. I think if you signed up for Timo, you were identified by your provincial coaches, and then your provincial coach was like, "Hey, these positions are pretty good. You should check them out."
So what was it like walking into that tryout? So, Kat, you had already represented Canada at a NORCECA Championship where you were new to the program, right? So what's it like walking into that Orangeville program where do you kind of recognize girls and you're kind of like, "Oh, that girl plays dinos," or are you just brand new trying to just focus on your own thing?
Yeah, I was new to the experience because I had never played on a team like that before. And I know a lot of the girls who were on it last year, but I wasn't super close with anyone. I kind of felt like it was me versus everyone because it was super intimidating, especially since there were so many athletes. There were about 35 athletes. Yeah, and I was obviously super nervous and super scared, except I just went into the tryout, just focused on myself, tried to play my best, and then everything worked out better. Yeah.
And nice, Kat, how about you? Did you know some teammates who were on the squad the previous year?
Yes. So the team got invited back from NORCECAs to come try out again. So I knew who was on the team from last year, and I knew some faces from playing just at provincials and nationals and during club season. But yeah, it was you still had to go in, you had to earn your spot, nothing was given to you. The team still changed quite a bit from the year before. So I was again, concerned more for I need to play my best to prove that I should be on this team. So I deserve that spot. So that was my goal too. I didn't want to just be chosen because I didn't want people to think that. I wanted to show them that I deserved to be there.
Yeah.
Nice. So once the squad's made, how much training did you have before you went over to Egypt? And where was that training camp hosted?
Well, so after we got the email, when was that? We got the email.
It was like the week. I thought it was the week after, so it was like end of May.
Okay, end of May, and then we had a training camp. All the athletes from Ontario in Windsor in July. In July, we had a training camp for all the Ontario athletes at St. Clair College.
Yeah, at Jimmy was coaching.
Yeah, so we had, I think, about 8 days of training, and we trained twice every day, and we did lift as well. So that was kind of a beginning for the program because we got to know the Ontario athletes on the team, which was made up of most of the team. Most of the team was from Ontario.
I'd say like 80% of the team was.
Yeah.
We love a good name drop. Speed round. Who were they? Go. Name.
Anna Smrek, Maddie Shares,
Hannah DeShano, Lauren Pastor,
Emma McKinnon,
Mary Stewart, Victoria Dacre, Dacre, Julia Murmann,
Anna Godomsky,
and then myself.
Nice. I think
we
didn't leave anybody out, right?
If we did, I apologize.
Did you say Emma McKinnon?
I said.
Okay, we got them.
Yeah. Good. Go us.
Yeah.
So we trained at St. Clair College for about 8 days with all their Ontario athletes, and then after that, the only time we trained was...
They gave us like some, like we should be doing workouts and being physical and still like being explosive and stuff, and they'd send out emails like making sure we were like keeping up with our bodies and how we felt and nutrition wise. There was also too, right before that, we were offered to go to like McMaster and have Nate. We have Nate, so he's at McMaster, and he offered to like have us come out during like school days though, like later on, like at 5:30 or something, which is kind of hard, but I thought it was really beneficial, at least for the Ontario athletes. Like we could come out and get touches and like practice some of the techniques that they wanted us to do while we were there, because it was a new technique and stuff going down there. So yeah, I thought that was beneficial. And then we had, right before going to Egypt, we went to Crystal Beach,
in Niagara.
Yeah, we practiced at like a local high school there, all together. So that was our first like outing as a team in a whole for a couple days. And then from there we left to go train in Slovenia for about 10 days.
Yeah, that was super nice. We trained in a really nice facility. It was called the Dross Center.
Yeah.
And a lot of professional athletes go there to train because they have a lot of volleyball courts, they have fitness rooms, and they have a hotel within that area. So that was super nice. And then from our training in Slovenia, we flew to Egypt, and then we were in Egypt for 10 days.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and when we got there, I was
Jules, it was like eye-opening, let's say that. It was it's different, like definitely seeing what they're used to, like, or what their norms are compared to like what our society norms are. It's harder. Things aren't as clean as what they'd be here, and just it's a lot more strict because you shouldn't be alone, like as females, by yourself and stuff like that. So we always had to be escorted places, and like being surrounded by security guards with guns all the time is kind of intimidating, and like having to always ask to do things, because when you get older, you don't always have to ask to go, like, can I go to the washroom, or can I go here? Can I go outside really quick? You can't do that there. You have to always ask and be like, can we go outside for a quick walk? But you couldn't leave the hotel. You could only go in like where the pool was.
Interesting. So, okay.
Yeah. And also too, like we were on minimal sleep because it's like the time change and everything. So getting there was like, oh my God, I just need sleep and some food. Pump me with some food and I'll be good. But that was probably the most difficult part, like the travel.
Yeah,
getting there.
So if you were a picky eater, like obviously that's one thing that most people enjoy when they travel, enjoying other people's cultures, is the food. Like, did you guys pack a lot of food, or were you at the mercy of whatever you could find when you're on site there?
We didn't pack any food when we went to Egypt.
I did. I packed a lot.
Bread. She packed like bread and stuff like that.
I love my bread.
But there was a huge buffet. They had all different kinds of options. They had stuff we're familiar to as well, like pasta, rice, meat. And then I'm vegetarian.
Hannah DeShano came up with this like recipe, I guess. I don't know. It was was it the fish or what was it? And then you'd put like, they had this special like hot sauce and you'd throw that with like bread. I'm probably saying this all wrong. I'm sorry, Hannah.
Yeah, that sounds
so bad. But in Ismailia is where we first, right? No, yeah. So Ismailia, it's like rare to have fish there. So when we had fish, it was like a really nice gesture. So we'd try it and it was actually really good. But I remember Hannah DeShano made like a really like good recipe between like this hot sauce. I'm not gonna say which meat it was because I can't remember, but it was so good. So we'd have that like every day and we like emptied out their hot sauces so fast and we're like, thank you.
I did want to circle back just a little bit. So I got to meet her at Canada Cup. Kat Pantovich, I think, was on the squad. So you guys are in Ontario. You're having your own training camp. What are like the other athletes from different provinces doing? Were they given homework or were they practicing on their own? Like, how did they kind of train when you guys were just getting those extra reps? And then what did you guys do for team building when the squad was actually together?
So I know people from BC. I think there were 2 people from BC.
Simone and Kat.
Yeah, they lived really close to the Richmond Oval.
Okay.
So I think they were training with some of the senior athletes for some training before that. And then, I think that was it. They were getting familiar with the type of style Canada was doing.
Okay. Nice.
With the senior team. And Kat played on the team. Kat P played on the team the year prior. So I think she was like familiar with what she had to do to prepare for the summer. And I think Amani just spent a lot of time with Kat P to get familiar on how to prepare and stuff like that. And for team building, in Windsor, we did an escape room.
Nice.
We did escape room. Yeah, it was actually really difficult. And we were going to go mini golfing, but it was raining, so we couldn't do that. And what else? We went bowling. We saw a movie. My team won bowling.
Of course
no big deal. I was with Maddie, Hannah, queen of recipes.
Nice. So it sounds like team building doesn't have to be like trust falls and all this weird like hokey stuff. It's just spending time together.
Connect your hands and untie them on.
So
we did some stuff with Jen though, where it was like more mental training all together as a team. Not so much as like trust building or like bonds. It was more like what we believe we can do as a whole. So that was really helpful, I thought. Yeah.
Nice. So take me through the event. You're there. It's an international competition. Was there ever a moment you were kind of starstruck and you're like, whoa, this team's like really good? Or did you guys feel like peers? You felt like a peer right about it? Or did you get caught watching and it was like, wow, they're so good?
Okay. First game was against South Korea.
Yeah.
North Korea. South Korea. South Korea.
North Korea.
Korea.
It was Korea.
So, we got there. We were getting used to like the gym the day before, and our game was in the afternoon, I think.
Yeah.
And then Scott, our head coach, told us the lineup, and then I was put on the starting lineup with all the other athletes who played on the team
the year before.
Nice.
So it's me with a bunch of people who already played on the team. Oh my God, I've never been so nervous in my life. My heart was beating so fast.
Her eyes were like caught in like headlights.
Okay.
But she played so well. She went out there and she passed amazing. She hit just fine and she fit right in. There was no issues whatsoever.
Yeah, I was so nervous. And then
we got back.
We won that game. We won that game I think in four sets.
Yeah.
And we took these vans back with police escorts and everything. And I wasn't feeling too well on the bus ride back. I felt like I took like a sleeping pill. And I felt like my eyes were closing. I felt like I couldn't see. So we had dinner after and I felt like I couldn't eat anything.
Like lethargic.
So I told Jeff, our physical therapist, I told him I wasn't feeling well, and he was like, you have to eat. And I was like, Jeff, I can't. And then I was like, Jeff, I'm really not feeling well. And he was like, okay, go up to your room. So I went up to my room, and then Kat came on. I had to go check on her. And checked on me. And then I just ran to the toilet and I started throwing up.
She's like, can you get Jess? I was like, yes.
And I started throwing up. And then right after that, I felt so much better because I think I was super nervous.
You were that nervous you made yourself physically ill.
Yeah.
But after the game.
Yeah. Like an hour after, yeah.
So there wasn't a point in the match where you felt like you settled in and you belonged there and you were doing well?
No.
Like, you're siding out balls and you're still nervous? Like,
No, I felt like I got in the groove throughout the game.
Okay.
And then after that, I was like,
just like hit her.
Yeah, and then it hit me. All of a sudden, I felt so sick. And then I threw up and everything was okay.
For the rest of the tournament? Okay.
Yeah, and everything was fine.
Yeah.
Nice. And how about you? How do you feel when you represent Team Canada? Do you start to look around and, oh, that girl's really good or that country's really good? Or do you like to take care of your own focus?
For me, because they have like statistics like after each game and stuff, so I like to look at those, but I try not to like let it get to my head because I don't want to start putting people on like pedestals that I don't know like if they deserve to have, or like should I be lower ranked than them, or like what does this mean for me. I just want to go out there and play the best possible the game that I can play, especially as like a libero. It's not like hitting statistics, it's like can I get the ball to the right target. And every like lib has different games and on and off games, so I just need to make sure that I'm on as much as I can and try not to psych myself out, because then I start getting jumpy and it's not good. Not a good recipe.
Nice. So what would be like a high like from that tournament? What's a good memory you guys have when you look back on that Egypt event?
Probably, I think Mexico, because we had a lot of grit in that game.
Game,
sorry, yeah, not going to Mexico. That would have been fun too, but no, we went to 5 and the team, we lost the first 2 and we're not down on ourselves, but we weren't playing our best. And then we only dug our hole, but we pulled ourselves out of it. And I thought that was like amazing because our whole team was super excited and ready because it was our second game that we'd won. And we were all feeling pretty high about that one. And yeah, the experience was really cool to be on the court and seeing all the girls' like reactions after we'd won.
So we recently had Scott Koski on the show, who's one of Canada's best players ever, and he's really transferred well into the coaching world. What can you tell us about what's it like to be coached by Scott?
He's so calm. I love it.
Yeah.
He doesn't get nervous.
He's kind of like John Child vibes.
Yeah, literally.
What's an example of that? I know a lot of listeners will know what that is, but in case they don't, what's an actual example or a story you can tell us about that?
I think when Scott's on the sideline, he puts a lot of trust in his players and expects them to know what they're supposed to do. And I know both Scott and John have similar coaching styles. For example, when someone messes up or something, they both wouldn't coach the person. They'd
let them figure it out.
Yeah, they'd let them figure it out, because I think
they have a lot of faith in each player.
And I think everything is done before the game instead of during the game. And I feel like working things out with your team and your coaches is done in practices, and then in the game it's up to the players. And Scott has a lot of trust in us that we're able to execute our game plan and what we've done in practices.
Nice. So if you blast a ball out of bounds, you're not looking over your shoulder being like, I'm getting subbed off. You kind of know that you can respond and get the job done.
Yeah, I think he would say, like, next one, move on.
Yeah.
You got the next one.
And I think he had a lot of faith in us too, even though we had such like a short training period altogether. He like had faith that we could get this technique down and play as a whole, as opposed to individuals. So that was really nice to have. And I guess we were really fortunate to have as well.
Yeah. Very cool. So what are you guys looking forward to this year? Because you're both going to be members of the junior national team, and that's going to be a tournament in Edmonton, right? So does that bring an added distraction that it's going to be on home soil? Like, are more family planning to come? Is there?
I feel like we'll see many more familiar faces on our side.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Cheering for us.
I think what I'm excited for is that it's a bit of a smaller tournament because it's only a NORCECA event. And I think it will make it a bit easier to get into the groove because we'll know who we're playing instead of seeing like 15 different teams or 20 different teams on a like sheet of paper. We can actually get to know each and every team and expect who we're facing because we already know who we're going to play pretty much. So.
And I also think that we also have glued pretty well from like the summertime. So playing basically the same team, like as the same team again, I think we'll do better. And yeah, I think just being on like Canadian soil, especially during national period time, because it's like right during 17U nationals, we might be able to get some friends out too to come watch and support, as well as our family. So again, yeah, having some more people cheering for us as opposed to against us would be nice.
Okay, there's got to be a quick story there when you're in Egypt. Like, what was the crowd like during matches?
Mexico had tons and tons of people. Probably like 40 people in one section. There weren't too many people in the actual arena. But it was energy. A couple of people spread out, and there was Mexico, family, and friends right in like the spotlight, I guess. Yeah. And they were super loud. And we only had a few fans because only a few parents came. Yeah. Both my parents came.
My mom and just my mom and my aunt. Oh, both aunts. I lied. Sorry.
Yeah, but we only had like 12 or like 15
altogether. Yeah.
I think Canadians in general, we don't cheer as loud as maybe some Central or South American countries. They tend to have a little bit more fun than we do, I think, at sporting events. So.
Yeah.
Toronto Raptors fans.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. But I think that we had a lot of love though from the Egyptians. Like they definitely supported us pretty well, but. We didn't have as much as some other teams, but
that's okay though.
Now it's our time to shine in Edmonton.
Yeah.
So.
Nice. Just to confirm again, what are the dates for Edmonton? You mentioned it's during Youth Nationals the same week, or
so our I think 18U Nationals is the 17th to the 19th. I think so we play 17, 18, 19.
Oh, ours is the 14th to the 16th. I think NORCECA's, isn't it?
And then NORCECA's is we check in the 8th of May, and I think we play from the 12th to the 16th.
Oh, wow. So your club coaches you're on the same team. John needs to be aware that you're playing an international tournament before 18U Nationals.
Yeah, we've talked to him about it. He says it's okay.
Well, I'm sure it's okay because you're representing Canada. That's just a funny week for it to happen, right? That everybody on your roster is essentially playing 2 tournaments in a row, right?
Yeah, it's not the most convenient time, especially because like the 17U players now can't participate because it's during their nationals. Mm-hmm. But I think we'll still do pretty well, and I hope we will do well. We'll see.
It's okay though. We trained in the summer for a month straight, 2 training sessions a day.
Nice. So we just mentioned Leaside. How is your current season going? So Julia, you've been on Leaside since you knew what club volleyball was. Kat, you're joining the squad this year. So how's the squad doing? What are you enjoying about this year?
I love our team this year.
Me too.
We're doing pretty well. Last year we're doing a lot better than we did last year.
Whoa, let's just say it because I didn't say it in your intro. You are defending national champion. So let's
national MVP.
Yeah, let's not skip over that. National MVP. See, I missed so much of your intro that you should have just added these things on as we go.
No, last year, we won nationals. Pretty awesome. But last year we came third.
It was
John Child's curse. John Child came third in the Olympics.
If no one knows.
Yeah, like they're pretty equal.
We won't mention the 8 times he won nationals like in a row, but we'll talk about the one Olympic.
They're pretty similar though, like third at Grand Prix versus third at the Olympics.
Like pretty equivalent if you ask me.
But so last year third, and then we won nationals. Yes. And then this year we've won our past 3 tournaments, I think.
Yeah.
We've won our past 3 tournaments. I think we're a lot more consistent and we're a lot more versatile, I think.
Yeah. We can put a lot of our players anywhere and they could play that position.
Like I know a lot of people can alternate between left and between right, and we have a middle who can play middle and right side. We only have 1 libero, but it's good because she's the best libero ever. But our club season's going awesome.
Yeah, I'm loving it. And our team doesn't have like the biggest bench, but I think like we have the most personality and we all like thrive together. So that's awesome.
Yeah, is that something you guys talk about? Sorry to cut you off there. Is that something you guys talk about with goal setting, that you go into the tournament like you're going to win, or do you want to play well? Is there a system you follow? Like, because you mentioned like finishing third last year wasn't enough, but like some teams would be happy to make semis, right? Where you guys, it sounds like it's win or bust sometimes with your team.
Yeah, we go in every tournament not expecting to win, but mindset is to win. because that's what we train for. That's what we practice for, to win.
But we never like underestimate or overestimate a team when we go in.
Yeah.
It's pretty like John has expectations for us, and so does like Melvin and Octavia, and so did we like for ourselves. But when we get into a game, it just comes down to like execution and staying calm, and that's like what John always preaches is like composure.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a standard that you can keep during practice too? Because it's one thing to try to ramp it up on a Saturday, but like, does a Tuesday night practice feel like you guys are going after it and everybody's getting better?
Depends on the day, especially like during exam season. We can't expect to have the same like focusedness as we do like during like almost provincial time. But I know for some practice they started like keeping stats sometimes, like last practice, just to make sure that we're aware of how we're passing, what's our hitting efficiency and stuff like that.
But yeah, we practice how we want to play, I guess. So if we want to win gold in a tournament, we wouldn't practice like we want to play for last, you know? We practice like we're going to win. So yeah, I think all of our practices are really similar in the way we play, because we always bring intensity and focus to our practices, because we know that's what it takes if we want to
be at the top.
Yeah.
So you guys have a lot going on this year between Team Canada stuff and club and everything else. But one thing I wanted to touch on was just your recruiting process. So Julia, as we mentioned, you've already committed to the University of Toronto, and Kat, you'll be going to Santa Clara. So at what point did you guys kind of start knowing that you wanted to play at the post-secondary level, and what kind of got the ball rolling as far as contacting coaches or whatever it takes to kind of get recruited in this day and age?
Yeah, so I always knew I wanted to play in university. Yeah, I think so. Because I signed up for Leaside House League when I was like 10.
She was like, I'm going to U of T from there.
Yeah. And then I played on the 13U team when I was 11, and then I just stayed with Leaside all the way through. And I was like, I kind of like volleyball. Maybe I'll play later. So then, yeah, I want to play in university. I was looking at a few schools in the U.S., except one I automatically ruled out because I want to go for athletics and academics, and it wasn't a good enough school for me personally. And then I was looking at another school, and I toured it, and I talked to the coaches, except I decided I want to stay in Canada because I just had a feeling, and I felt like
that's where you should be.
Yeah, I felt like it was right for me. So then I narrowed my choices down to UBC and U of T. And I've always been in contact with Christine because I was doing like U of T clinics and stuff like that. Yeah, and we are always on good terms. And she had offered me a spot, I think, end of grade 10, I think. Yeah, something like that. And then I spoke to the head coach of UBC in May at Nationals, which was much later. And then I was going to go for a visit to UBC in around October. And then I was like, maybe I won't go and visit because I know I want to go to U of T. It'd be a waste of my time, and it'd be a waste of the coaches and the team's time. And that's when I knew I wanted to go to U of T. So I had a meeting with Christine. Yeah, I think she thought we were just going to talk about more of like my recruiting process and stuff like that. And then I was like, Christine, I think I want to come here. And she was like, oh my God, that's such great news. Yeah, she was super excited. I was super excited as well. And then I signed my letter like 2 days after, and then boom, I'm going to U of T.
Awesome. And what are you going to study while you're there?
I enrolled in a Bachelor of Arts and Science. But yeah, I think I'm going to do a major in social sciences.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good for you. Congratulations.
Thank you. Close to home. I'm not living at home though, so that's okay.
All right, Kat, were you 10 years old thinking, man, I'm going to play in the NCAA someday?
I had this whole plan when I was like U12 when I first made my team. And I was like, okay, Mom, in grade 9, I want to move to the States because my aunt has a condo in Florida, and I was like, I want to go to Clearwater High and live there, and then I'll become an actual like resident, or like I can, oh my god, citizen of the States. Why can't I think? And then I won't have to pay as much when I go to the States, because I was like, that's all I want to do. I just want to go to the States. I don't know. I was very driven towards that because I'd watched like all the games growing up and stuff, and I was like, this is what I want to do. But I didn't really know how to do that. So after I had played on Team Canada 2 years ago when we went to Honduras for NORCECAs, this one recruiter emailed me and was like, hey, I saw you. Are you interested? Do you need help with your recruiting? And I was like, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. So yes, I need help. So his name is Georgiadis. He's amazing and he's helped me a lot. So he started emailing some coaches, and I started talking with them, but a lot of them like fell through, like the coaching staff like changed, and then they're like, hey, I actually need to give you this email because I'm not going to be the coach anymore. And I was like, okay, that's a little odd, but so I'm going to leave. And then sometimes I would be like talking to them, and because I'd need a full ride because it's too expensive to go down and pay full. So they're like, yeah, we're thinking full ride for you. And then like as we'd go on, they'd be like, oh, only 2 years. And I was like, okay, no, I can't do that. So I kept going. And then also too, Dale Melnick helped me as well. She's a really good recruiter too. She's just starting out. Highly recommend as well. So they were both kind of looking for me. And Joel found this one school called Santa Clara, which is where I'm going. And he was like, hey, they're getting all this new coaching staff. They have an assistant coach that's coming to be the head coach from Stanford, and a volunteer assistant coach from Nebraska, and volunteer assistant coach from UCLA. And he's like, I think it's going to be a really great team. They're like rebuilding. So I was like, okay, for sure. So I had to talk with them. The assistant coach Bree was so nice and welcoming to me, and I loved it. And I sent her my film, and she was like, hey, I really want to come out and watch you. And I was like, for sure, come. But my provincial time, she thought I was playing 17, but I was playing a year up. So she mixed up when to come down. She came out the wrong time. Oh, man. So she was like, it's okay. I'll watch the 17 provincials and I'll come to your practice. So my coach very nicely set up like a scrimmage against like a one volleyball team sort of. And so she came out and watched that. And then I technically couldn't talk to her. Only my coach could talk to her.
Did you play well?
Yeah.
Yay! Go Cat!
So then she was like, hey, we're interested in you. I'm going to show you to like our head coach. But yeah, it just started rolling from there. And she's like, let's set up a visit. So I went for a visit, and I'm all about like team culture. And when I went down there, the girls were so welcoming. They showed me around, and it wasn't like I was just with one girl the whole time. It was the whole team. So I knew that was going to be like the presence I was going to have at all times. So then we went for dinner that one night, and they offered me like a scholarship. And I was like, they're like, you can go home and think about it, talk to your parents. And my mom was there, and I was like, Mom, can I just take it? And she was like, okay. And I was like, Erin, can I accept it now? She's like, oh my God, for sure. I was like, okay. And then and then I didn't sign until obviously grade 12, but it was like very fast from like February to May. It was all happened there. So I felt as though I was starting really late because it was grade 11, but you can start at any time and still get it done. So
yeah. But I'd recommend starting earlier.
As early as you can.
Especially if you want to go to the U.S. I know they recruit super early in comparison to Canada.
Well, they changed the rule now, so you can't talk to coaches until grade 11, which sucks.
But if you aspire to go to the U.S., I'd recommend doing camps at the universities you're looking at, because I know a lot of people who go play for university teams in the NCAA got recruited through those clinics and camps from the schools. So I think that's a good way.
Yeah, for sure. And still, like, even though they changed the rule for NCAA where you can't talk to them until grade 11, still sending out the email so they can view it. And then when you hit that grade, they can probably send you an email if they're really interested in you. And again, going out to tournaments down there helps a lot. And even in Canada, though, like sending out emails as much as you can. And coaches get really busy, so don't be
discouraged.
When they don't respond right away, because they probably have so much to do. So keep sending them and don't feel like you're nagging them.
Awesome. We've taken a lot of your time, so thanks for making the time to be on the show, talk about recruiting, junior national team. To put you on the spot here, we always try to ask our guests just a funny story to end it, where you guys are playing for the national team. I'm sure there's lots of people who look up to you, but just to show that funny stuff even happens to superstars, can you leave us with a laugh or a funny story?
So as we talked about before, we were training in Slovenia, and we stayed at like the hotel, which was attached to the training facility. And we were on the second floor, and I just felt like after this one point, it was very like dark and like ghost vibes, you know? And I'm like really into like the supernatural and stuff like that. So I was like, guys, I think there's ghosts here. Like weird stuff is happening. Like people would go to sleep and their biosteel would be filled up to the top, and then it would be dumped over in the morning, but nothing would be on the floor, as if someone drank it and then tipped it over. And that happened to 2 people. And then you'd like hear stuff when you're in the shower, and it was like really creepy, and like scratching. If you're in the room alone, like if you're taking a nap, I'd hear like scratching, and I was like, what's going on here?
Probably a cat.
It was probably me, guys. So anyways, I got this one Polish girl on our team, Anna Gadomski, to read this like one article because I looked up murders at Draws, and there was an incident in the kitchen, but we don't know if he choked or like he actually died. I looked up murders and that came up, and she was like, "Cat, like I don't know, like this doesn't seem right." So we decided to go to the 3rd floor because there was an elevator, but it didn't go to the 3rd floor. You had to take the stairs. So we're like, "What is up here?" So I got like the whole team to come with me.
Went to like the attic of this hotel.
It was the scariest thing because when you open the door, and then there's like this big like monument, and then so we shut it really quick and like ran down the stairs, and there's also a crib at the bottom. Don't know why. That was really weird. But like, why is there a crib at the bottom of the stairs? That's weird. So then we finally like worked up the courage to open the door completely, and we walked upstairs, and then Hannah DeShano shut the door on us, and then we're like, oh no, and it was pitch black, and we're like freaking out, and then finally she opened the door, and then we looked around, and it's literally just an attic, but like there was ghost vibes there. And yeah, it was definitely ghost vibes. And then I was trying to get the coaches to believe me, but they just said I was crazy. So yeah.
Yeah, maybe the baby crib there was for an extra cot.
But why it was at the bottom of the stairs? And then we just
someone couldn't sleep. Boom, baby crib.
It doesn't make sense. I don't know.
And when we were friends with the Koreans.
Yeah. Oh my yes.
We made friends with Team Korea.
Julia made best friends.
Yeah, this one girl, she was super nice. And they couldn't speak English, so we just spoke over Google Translate.
And we traded jerseys, well, not jerseys, but warm-up tees and stuff like that.
Yeah, they wanted to trade our jerseys with us, and we were like, we might need these. And they're like, okay.
They were so cute, though. We spent a lot of our time in the hotel with them.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for coming on the show. Obviously very easy to root for. So some junior national team stuff, then club nationals, defending national champions.
Yeah.
So good luck the rest of the way, and thanks for making the time to come on the show, guys.
Thank you for having us.